talking to myself, this is a good time to take that down and let me see your faces a little bit and hear your questions. Any doubt, any question, and something is not clear, I really believe in the principle that if the student doesn't understand, the teacher probably did a bad job teaching. So be comfortable.
Thank you, Amir. I would like the members to ask any questions to Amir. We should take advantage of having one of the senior-most forum facilitators in the world with us today. I've been exchanging ideas with him how to disrupt the world of forums, how to make forums more impactful, more meaningful. I'm sure you guys have similar questions you would like to ask Amir. Please go ahead and shoot those questions to Amir.
Questions, please.
Thank you, Amir, for all the knowledge and insights. And you seem like a very straight person. So I like no humor and no sarcasm there. So I'm expecting a very straight answer to this. Ideally, forum is an expensive affair, and we are, expecting accomplished people to be a part of it. So how do you put 9 lions from 9 different jungles in one room, like people who are the pinnacle of whatever they do, and expect them to be in discipline, show up on time, be consistent, be respectful to each other, and all those things that we've been talking about? And I'm expecting a straight answer from you because you've been quite straight throughout. By the way, my name is Emmanuel, and it was amazing listening to you.
Emmanuel, my last name is Kfir. Kfir means the son of the lion. Simba. So I'm very comfortable being a room full of lions. And you're right, it is a room full of lions, right? But these lions are quite civilized because they understand that if they really want to get return on their time, they need to follow a protocol. So they're not really doing what they do when they go to their business and they stand in front of their community and they talk for 20 minutes and everybody's quiet. We say 2 minutes per person. After a minute and a half, we'll say half a minute. After 2 minutes, we'll say time. Close your thing, wrap up, move on. Structure creates an honorable, respectful mechanism for a conversation to be held. This is not happening just because we put a good, smart group of people together, If you get a group with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett in it, all of us will sit quietly and listen to them because we want to drink from the fountain of wisdom and success. But when you put a group of 9 or 10 people that are equals, we want equal time. We want an equal approach. We want a process for conversation. That process works well. In the past, I would say that there is a strong trained moderator who leads the group, and that's still true. But I do believe that we're all moderators. It's actually like a group of friends that play poker. Who's the dealer? Me. Next round, you. Everybody knows how to be a dealer because there's a game. Now, did you ever see a group of people playing poker together on a Friday evening and arguing all the time about who talks and who does and what does? Poker has rules. It's clear when you say down 1, 1 down, and if you say give me 2, the game is clear. What is winning is clear. Same thing here. This is a game. It's a conversation that is highly structured in a flow that is organic. So don't get confused when I say structure, that it's all mechanistic and we're all marching like soldiers. There is a flow to it, but with boundaries. It's like playing bowling, and there's this metals that go up on the side in the gutter to make sure the ball doesn't get to the gutter. We have a protective process, but it's a very powerful process. You need to know that I've worked on this process for the last, I think we had a discussion the other day, how many years am I doing this? I'm considered in this tribe one of the old farts. So I think I've been doing it for 26 or 27 years. Somebody said 29, but I think they're wrong. I didn't come that early. And I've seen, thousands of people. They honor the process and they get value for their time.
Thank you, Dr. Amir. Any more questions? Yes, we have another question for you.
Hi, my name is Anuj Goenka. I'm currently a moderator of a forum. So just had a small question. How do you make your forum members dig deeper in their updates? Just how do you push them, or how do you next time to come prepared to dig deeper in their updates? As a moderator, I just want to...
That's a good question. First of all, You'll hear from Jimmy because he's been telling me that, and I know his passion to go to meaningful conversations. That people talk about 5%. What is that 5%? It's that stuff that you don't talk to anybody else. If I meet you in the street and I say, hey man, how are you doing? If the answer you will give me in a forum is the same that you will give me meeting you in the street, you haven't understood what this is all about. We are coming here into this room under a setup of confidentiality. Often in these meetings, we will take our phones and put them outside of the room in a microwave. We won't operate the microwave, but we will make sure nobody can tap into the conversation. This is the room where we're going to talk about the things. We don't talk to anybody. Not even to your best friend, because often your best friend is the person that sleeps at night with his wife, who happens to be the best friend of your wife. And in your culture, we know how families are. You know, everybody is an uncle and aunt, connected, you know, the network of people. You walk into a group that is absolutely non-related in any way, under total confidentiality. So what are you going to talk about? You need to be able to come and talk about your hopes and your fears and your dreams and your aspiration and your challenges. You need to be able to talk about what keeps you awake at night, right? You had something salty to eat. Oh, very spicy. Hello, India. You wake up in the middle of the night to have a cold glass of water and your head starts to rush at 200 miles per hour. That thing that your head is rushing needs to be talked about in the forum. Talked about to us about the things that are blocking you from success in life. When you come into a forum meeting, we'll look at each other and we'll say, are you healthy? Are you happy? Are you successful? If the answer to any one of these questions is no, talk to us, man. Let's work. We're a working group. But you need to put on the table the material for work. If you put some, bogus PR about yourself and tell us the victorious stories of all your success, we say, man, move up. Maybe you had a good month. Okay, fine. Enjoy. But if you come to every meeting and all you have to say is how fantastic you are, you misunderstood what this is all about. Here, we come to talk about the things we don't talk about in any other place. What's keeping you? What's eating you? What are your challenges? Right? You remember the movie Pulp Fiction, where they blow up the head of the guy in the back seat of the car, and Mr. Wolf arrives, cool-headed, right? Forum is Mr. Wolf. We know how to work on problems. We're smart, we're talented, we're capable. We're better on your problem than our own, by the way, unfortunately, because when I have my problem, my emotions and rationale get clouded. When I look at yours, things seem to be very simple. Fire the bastard. But we don't tell each other what to do. We don't tell each other what to do. Did I answer your question?
Thank you. That was lovely. We have another question for you, Dr. Mir.
Doc, hi, this is Mazen Shroff, and you're the son of a lion, and so am I, in a different way. But really inspiring speech, and thank you for sharing those insights with us. Two words I think are really critical for the success of the forum. One is inhibition, and one is trust, and both actually really related. Trust is not something that happens immediately, it's built over time. How do you sort of build this trust in your forums? That's point number one. And how do you get people to reduce their inhibitions? Nobody wants to talk about failures or what's keeping them up at night. How do you kind of evoke that conversation, especially in successful people whose egos are, taller than the tallest building I've seen. So
let's just understand what trust is. We're not doing bungee jump here, right? But in a bungee jump, you better trust the rope, and you better trust the company that built it, and you better look at how they're treating their people to see whether this is a company you want to use their bungee to jump, right? Or the people have a revenge issue with the management because of how they're being treated. So you're looking holistically to see, is this someone that I trust? When we make up these groups, each one of you will be able to say, I want to be with these people, or I have reservations and I don't want to be with this. You will not be put in a group where you don't want to be with. if you don't trust someone, or you think there's a conflict of interest that might cause you not to trust. You're in cybersecurity and they're going into cybersecurity. We can't be in the same group. So these are some of the fundamentals that ensure that, first of all, structurally, it's not going to be a group that you might have a challenge with, or this guy knows my father, I don't feel comfortable with that. No, we need to be very good at that. It's an art to build this group. But these groups last for many years when they work well. The second thing I would say about trust is that it's a mindset. You know, some people say, I don't trust until I feel I can trust. And some people say, I trust until you betrayed my trust, and that would be the end of it. So it's a question of a mindset that I come into a group and I trust. And because I am a lion, I'm not that vulnerable. Still, I might not in the first meeting or the first 5 meetings tell you about what I did with the IRS. But I will gradually lean into talking about more complex issues. It's a joke, I hope not offensive. This guy goes to the dentist, and just before the dentist starts to drill, he grabs him by the very painful place in the body and says, we're not going to hurt each other, are we? That's what Forum is. It's a group of people that have a relationship, that they all put some chips on the table and they have something to lose. If you're too guarded, and you don't open up for more than the normal time that we would expect you to open up, you're out. We don't want you in the group. We don't want people who are trying to sell us something. We don't want people who are trying to impress us. We want people who are coming to work with us and learn and open up. That is magic. When you hit that spot, I myself am a member of 3 forums. Each and every one of them is completely different. One of them is a forum of organizational consultants in Israel. I've started that group 13 years ago. People said, Amir, they all compete with each other. How can they work together? I said, there's blue ocean. There's enough for everybody out there, but if we work well together, this will be a valuable group. And we have a lot of love with each other. At the beginning, there was a lot of people. Everybody was trying to show off who's smarter and who's bigger and whatever. But now, it's all about love. And when there is love, by the way, we say things to each other that are the most natural thing. Right? We just speak the truth, because you never think that the person is saying it with an intention to hurt you. That makes it very, very powerful. Unstoppable. On the issue of inhibition that you raised, the answer is design within the process are what we call icebreakers or communication starters. So a classical question for me might be something that you screwed up in your life big time, and what did you learn from it? Welcome to the club of talking honesty. And if you say, I screwed up because I made a cake and the recipe was wrong, you're wasting our time. You're wasting our time. Wake up, man. Something that you regret in life. Oh, I never regret everything. Everything that happened had a reason. Yes, but you were bleeding. Maybe you learned something out of it. Fine, we like that attitude. But what do you take out of that? So it's built over time.
Well, we have another question for you, Dr. Amir.
Hi, Dr. Amir. I'm Dr. Shama Bhatia. I have friends who've been parts of forums that have broken and or gone apart, and one of them had immense collateral damage from it, because someone went out and blurted some very important stuff that happened in their life pertaining to, particularly since you mentioned IRS, and had a lot of trouble. So just to you know, and it can happen, but just some insights on how such a thing can be avoided or mitigated, or any thoughts on that?
Yeah. These are the really painful things what you're describing. 2 thoughts. One is, you need to choose what you say, right? If you've done stuff that is illegal, the notion of confidentiality doesn't hold in a case of court. There was an example of people that did inside trading on a public company, and the FCC saw that there was a pattern of this group of people knowing when to buy and sell. They invited these people, and somebody says to the judge, "Sir, I can't tell you what happened because I'm under confidentiality." He threw him to jail for 3 days and says, "You think about your confidentiality." Right? So what does that mean? That confidentiality is not above law. If you kill somebody, we're not going to shut up. As a matter of fact, if you hurt someone or you hurt yourself, we will step in. We will do what we need to do to take care of things. So you need to be wise in your sharing and your learning, but make sure that you are not exposing something that is absolutely at the verge of being totally illegal, right? And if people break up because they feel it's a place that could not be trusted, and I've seen these forums where people gossip, we have a rule. For instance, there was a forum, a spouse forum that I did somewhere in Africa. And out of the 8, 3 used to meet every Tuesday for tea. And in that Tuesday tea of the 3 of us, they spoke about everything else and everybody else in the group. So there was a subgroup created into the group. I learned from this. No, the 3 of you can meet, but we never talk about other people when they're not present. Even if I start saying, "Oh, she's amazing, she's such a loving person, but I don't think she..." What I'm going to say now is called gossip. We don't gossip about each other. And if you just start gossiping, I say, "Hey sister, don't go there," which means we guard each other. Often people let you say the story and now they've already blurred it out and now they're bad. I need you to stop this person before they start talking and say, "Don't go there." We guard each other. And I might say, "I love what you think you want for her. Tell her, don't tell me." Let's not have behind the back conversations. This creates, once people understand that, this creates a very powerful relationship. Once we understand that this is not a place for gossip, this is not a place for putting people down, this is not a place of building your ego at the expense of others, these groups become very, very powerful because that's a very unique characteristic that we're creating here. Have I answered your question?
Yes, very much. Can we have one last question for Dr. Amir?
It was really pleasure hearing you. My name is Darshat, and out of all your experience, in terms of forums, and we've been hearing about a lot of stories, but one value or one quality that, out of your experience, if you could describe forum as, or one thing that, is something that you could describe the forum in one word or one line, what it could be?
I think it's a group of people that watch each other's back or take care of each other and help each and every one of us individually and collectively move to be the best that we are. I think that's the essence. And that will entail many things that we do together. But that's my answer. I want to hear yours after you went into this process for half a year. I think we will all ask you, what value are you gaining? How would you define this group? Because we will monitor your satisfaction and your value at any point because we want to make sure we're on target. We will do a survey from time to time. We will check the performance. We will check what works and what doesn't work. Knowing Jimmy just a little bit, he's not going to let anything slip under the carpet without putting it on the table and looking it honestly and confronting it and learning from it. So I'm sure this is going to be a success because nobody is wasting their time in making such an effort unless they truly believe that they can do a big difference in this world in this respect.
Lovely. This was such a lucid presentation and a talk, Dr. Amir. It has actually opened our eyes to the world of forums, and you've given us so much of your time.